Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for logging on. Thank you for tuning in. This is the rise and fall of club music here on RadioOnFire.com. Every Friday at 12 noon, we drop a brand new episode of this weekly series where I get to sit down with some of the heavy hitters in Baltimore club music history, like the DJs, the artists, and the producers. Now, in this first episode, I, Diamond K, am going to talk about my beginnings in club music, how I met Frank Ski, Miss Tony, Reggie Reg, and some other people. So without any further ado, let's get started. The rise and fall of Baltimore club music here on RadioOnFire.com. My name is Diamond K. I'm a writer, director, media personality, but I got my start as a recording artist, creating Baltimore club music, or club music. Baltimore club music is a fusion of hip-hop and house music. And, it's like a hodgepodge of samples, chants, singing, rapping, instruments, drums, everything that you could think of, up-tempo. And, it's Baltimore's take on those things. I got my start as a rapper, hip-hop, early 90s, and trying to find my way, trying to make it, trying to get known. I had a group in high school. I went to Edmondson High School, Edmondson Westside High School, and a group of guys there. We had a group called the CIA, and that's where my beginnings were. After high school, everyone went their separate ways, and I wanted in. I wanted to be a part of the music business. There were rap artists that had some notoriety here in Baltimore, the New Marks, the We Rock Crew, Frank Ski, Miss Tony, a lot of people that were coming up, the Double P Posse, DJ Precise. These were people that were out, when I was coming up, that I aspired to be like. And I felt like the rap sound that I was trying to do wasn't going to make that happen. So I wanted to make a club song. At the time, there was house music that were played during the sets, Chicago house, New York house, European house. All of these songs were played, and eventually we started to hear some sounds from producers from Baltimore. Tommy Davis, the Basement Boys, and that whole movement. Frank Ski was making a lot of noise with his stuff. And there were a lot of people, DJ Equalizer, Scotty B, some of the early records that I remember from Baltimore. But like I said, I wanted to make a record. I wanted to get known. And I felt that the way to do that was through this sound that we call Baltimore club music. At the time, I had a producer. His name was RO+B, and I'm Diamond K. And, I wanted to make this club song. So what I did was I took an up-tempo break beat. We sped it up to club music speed, and I rapped to it. And we came up with a song called Hey Girl, Where Your Boyfriend At? And it was very similar to the song that people later knew and, that became popular in Baltimore. But it was a little different. And, we did the song. I let people hear it, and we thought that we had something. We thought that we were hitting on something. And I thought the only way that I can get this out there is to get it to Frank Ski. At the time, he had the night mix show, and he was the most popular DJ that I had heard of, aside from, maybe Sean Marshall or DJ Booby. But Frank was on the radio. People knew his name. They knew his voice. And I wanted to get this record to him. So we didn't have a link there. it was funny that Rob, RO plus B, my producer, he said that he knew a girl whose homegirl allegedly had sex with Frank Ski, and that was going to be our way in. And I thought that was whack. There's no way that we're going to be able to get in like that. So what we did, this time we were playing like Madden. This is like early Madden, so this is like Madden 93. We're playing this game. We call the request line for V103, and we just let the phone ring. 6 o'clock, Frank Ski came on the air. We called at 6 o'clock and let the phone ring straight. He wasn't taking requests. I didn't understand as far as they recorded and tracked things, and maybe he wasn't going to answer the phone. The phone rang for 2 hours straight. We played Madden. We did all these things. The phone just kept ringing. Finally, Frank Ski answered the phone. I told him who I was. Look, I'm Diamond K, and I have this song that I think that you should hear. It's a club song. He said, good, I'd love to hear it. Mail it to me at this address. Gave me the address. We mailed it. Didn't hear from him for several weeks. But eventually we heard from him. He liked the record. He wanted me to come into a real studio because we were recording in the bedroom. He wanted me to come into a real studio to record the record over. And we did that. We went to the studio. It was on the east side. I grew up in West Baltimore. We recorded the song initially in Woodlawn, Maryland. I'd never been to the east side like that, like on my own. I was a teenager. But we got the address. This is pre-MapQuest, any kind of navigation. You had to figure it out. All right. And so, we drove over, and I was so excited. I thought this is my big break. I'm taking it in. It's a emotional and a spiritual movement for me to go here. We went to a big studio. It's called High Heel Studio. It's on East Baltimore, in East Baltimore. And we went there, and that's where I met Miss Tony. Miss Tony already had several records out at this time. Big, tall, cross-dressing, flamboyant, loud guy, but he was really cool. And I met Reggie Reg for the first time. Reggie Reg was a very popular DJ, still is, a legendary DJ. He was there. He was recording a song. And Frank was putting together a compilation. And I was blessed to be part of this compilation. And we redid the song in the studio. And we did our parts, and that was it. We did some background vocals for some of the records that he was working on with Reggie Reg. One of the records, it was like Welcome to Baltimore, and Reggie shouted out different clubs and different beats, and we did some background vocals for that, and Tony did his song for the compilation. And then we didn't hear from Frank for a while. But what Frank did was he put a girl on the song, 2 girls, and they just... It really just made the record really connect, and the girl was answering me back, and it was perfect. And things really started off for me. We signed contracts. I was signed to his label, and things really started to move forward. We started doing shows, and that's really how I got my name off of that record. Hey girl, where your boyfriend at? And looking back now, 20 years later, over 20 years later. It's really how I got my start. It's a very personal record to me, and semi-true story. And but that's how I got my start. It's memories, memories. What we have here, this is going to be a series, an ongoing thing called The Rise and Fall of Baltimore Club Music. We're going to be talking to a lot of different people about club music, their input, their contribution, their thoughts, and where they think things are going. There was a time when Baltimore club music and the Baltimore sound was embraced by the people of Baltimore, and I wanted to get back to that point, to the way that it was, and even bigger. So that's why we're doing this documentary, The Rise and Fall of Baltimore Club Music, and on our YouTube channel. But there also will be a full-fledged DVD and Blu-ray that you could also purchase. But more on that. Right now, I want you to take a look at some of the people talking about it. Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at The Diamond K Show. Also on Facebook, DJ Diamond K. All right? I'll see you guys next time.